Hi everyone, this is Sam from TeKanAid Solutions, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the TeK indoor camera. We're going to unbox it and we're going to set it up. So let's do it. So it comes in a white box like this one. It says wireless IP camera on it. It has a picture of the camera and it says it works indoors for stores or home, has a Wi-Fi symbol, an HD symbol. So let's open it up and see what's inside. So you can see that it uses an adapter similar to an Android device's adapter. It has a USB to micro USB cable used for power. And here's the camera itself. So it's mostly white, has a little bit of black. The base is also black. So around the lens you can see the LEDs that are used for night vision. They turn on automatically, so whenever the light is dim in the room, it turns on automatically so you can see in the dark. There's a little hole in the front here. This is for the microphone. And at the back, there's the internal speaker. There's the antenna. It's attached already. And the back here you have a port for external speaker. It's an audio port that you can connect to an external speaker. Not really necessary in my opinion. There's also an Ethernet port that will be used to connect the camera to your router so we can get it set up and ready to go. You can also after that configure Wi-Fi and then you don't even need to connect it to Ethernet. There's a micro SD card slot. The micro SD card does not come with the camera. You can purchase that separately and you can do some recording on it onto the SD card directly. And here's the slot for the micro USB connection to power the camera. Now you can see at the bottom here there's a reset. It's probably hard to see, but there's a reset little button here that you can factory reset the camera. Now inside here there's also the mount for it, so you can mount it on the wall. And you can see it comes with a couple of screws and also a pin for the factory reset. So you basically mount it onto the wall like this, and you can change how it the configuration of it, but you can mount it on the wall like that. And at the bottom here you just screw it in like this, and that's it. You mount it like that, and then it has a pan and tilt, so from your phone you can make it rotate in whatever direction and set it in wherever direction you want it. So that's it pretty much, except that there was one last thing here. It comes with a little sticker. It says PNP IP camera on it. It has a user name and a password default. It's admin, and it comes with something called a P2P ID, which is peer-to-peer ID. Now don't worry about this ID. We have disabled it in the firmware of the camera, and I'll have a separate video about that, but for security reasons we've disabled that, and I'll talk about that later to tell you why I made that decision to disable it in the firmware. So that's it for the unboxing. Let's go and set it up. Okay, so we are gonna connect the camera to the router or cable modem using Ethernet. So first, grab your Ethernet cable, pick up the camera, put it at the back, and the other side is connected to your modem or router. Depends on what you have at home. Most people will have a modem that has a router embedded. You can see there are multiple ports. Just choose any one of them, connect it. And then connect power to the camera. So here's the power cable. Connect the micro USB end to the camera's power port. And just wait about a minute. You'll see the camera start moving. It's showing you that it's receiving power and it's booting up. You can see the LED lights turn on. It scans while it boots up. And once it stops scanning, then we can move to the next step to find the camera on the network and start configuring it. Okay, it's probably done now. Let's go and configure it. Alright, so now that you've connected Ethernet and connected power to the camera, let's go ahead and set it up. First thing you want to do is go over to the Google Play Store and purchase the TinyCam Pro app, which is $4.99, and it's well worth it. That's $4.99. So go ahead and buy that. It's the best camera for these best app for these kind of cameras. And once you do, go ahead and open it. And the first thing you want to do is go to the top left and scan the network. If you purchase it brand new, you're not going to have any of these views for the camera. It actually might walk you through how to set up a new camera. Look for something that says scan network. It's the first thing you want to do. You want to scan the network and hit the magnifying glass that you see at the bottom right here. Since I already have other cameras set up, so you're going to see these cameras here, but we're looking for a new camera here, and there it is. It actually found it at the bottom. I'm going to hit stop. And what I'm looking for is the IP address, which is the 192.168.1.103. And if you don't know what an IP address is, it's a unique identifier for devices on a network, whether computers, cameras, anything that really communicates on a network that needs to have an IP address. So now that we know it's the 192.168.1.103, we're going to go ahead, open a browser. You can do this on your computer, or you can do it on the phone. I'm just going to do it on the phone here. It's easier. So let's go ahead and type in the IP address. 103. And let's hit enter. And it's going to take us to this login page. It might ask you for the username and password. I've logged into this camera before, so it didn't ask me. If it does ask you for username and password, the default is admin for username and admin for password. ADMIN. So hit the login. And you're going to see, if you're doing it on the phone, you're going to see an empty screen here, but scroll to the right a little bit and you can see a little bit more. On your computer, it actually uses flash, so you're going to actually see the camera view right in the middle of the screen here, but you got to enable flash in your browser. And just for setting this up, I don't really care about seeing the view here. All I'm looking for is that gear icon at the bottom right corner. We're just under defaults. This is where we're going to set up a few things for the camera, mainly set up Wi-Fi for it. So go ahead and click the defaults button. And here you can see a summary of the status of the camera. Take a read, but the first thing that you need to look at is the second field there that says P2PID. Make sure that the field next to it is empty. If there's some numbers or letters in that field beside P2PID, please let us know. We have removed that from the firmware for security reasons, so please let us know if this is not blank. Now go to the right hand side here and select wireless under network settings. This is where we're going to set up the Wi-Fi. The first thing you want to do is search for your Wi-Fi. So click the search button next to the SSID here, and it's going to look for your network, your Wi-Fi name, SSID, and then click join. So once you click join, it's going to put the SSID in place, and now you just need to put in your username and your password for your Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to pause it while I put mine. And once you're done, just click the check button. So what it's going to do is going to check, click the check button. I hit the back button. It's going to check the Wi-Fi connection to make sure it's successful. And there we go, connected to Wi-Fi successfully. Just close this window and click apply. And that's it. You've connected to Wi-Fi. You've set up the camera for Wi-Fi. You can visit the different settings at the bottom here and take a look. I'll have a separate video for that. One setting you probably want to do is the user settings, and go there. Change the admin password to something more secure, and then that's what you're going to use from now on for connecting to the camera. I'm not going to change it for now, but you're welcome to do that, and actually I recommend that you do that. Now that we've connected to Wi-Fi, go ahead and unplug Ethernet from the camera so that we're only working with Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much what most users are going to do. You know, you don't necessarily need to have Ethernet connected. You're probably going to put the camera somewhere where it's not very accessible to connect to an Ethernet. So you're just going to work with Wi-Fi. So it's important to remove or disconnect Ethernet from the camera, and we're going to proceed to the next step. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that, and you go ahead and do the same. Alright, so now you should be operating on Wi-Fi only. Now let's go back to our app, and we're going to rescan the network once again. So hit the magnifying glass at the bottom right. This is necessary because you get 2 IP addresses actually for every camera. You're going to get one for Wi-Fi and one for Ethernet. So let's see what we got for Wi-Fi here. Let's wait a little bit until it actually finishes scanning. And there it is. It found it. So we're going to stop the scan. It's the 192.168.1.110. So I'm going to unselect all the other ones that I have here and only add that one camera that I'm setting up right now. So that yellow button on the right hand side that has the plus sign, a camera symbol and a plus sign with a 1 on the top right, click that. Now I have one camera added. Now press at the top left where the 3 dashes are and go to live view. And now you're going to find at the very end my camera, the IP cam. So click on that. And now we got to choose the proper profile for it. So press the top right corner 3 dots there and scroll to the bottom where it says camera settings. Now let's change a few things. Camera name, you can change that to whatever room this camera is in. So whatever you're going to name the camera, you can do that. So here maybe living room. Done. Okay. And then go down to camera model and press it, and press the magnifying glass at the bottom right. And what you're looking for here is WANSCAM HW0040. So you can just search HW0040, you know, it's gonna pop up. Press WANSCAM HW0040. The IP address is already populated for you since it automatically discovered it. Now go to web port number, press that, change it from 8080 to 80 only. 80. Done. Okay. And then finally scroll down to the login settings, change the username to whatever username you've put in. I still have my default admin. So say okay. Admin. Done. Okay. Now scroll to the very bottom. You should see camera status okay. Press that. It will show you the camera view, what the camera is seeing right now. So that means we've correctly set up the camera with a proper profile. And notice the resolution here is 1920 by 1080. That's your 1080p full HD. And frames per second, 25 or 26. And it's not going to be the full 30 unless there's a lot of movement in front of the camera. And it does that to preserve bandwidth um, for the camera. So let's close from here and then hit the back button at the top left to see the camera in its full glory. So here you can see the camera. You see you can move the camera around, use the joystick button. You can go up and down and see my messy room here. And you can enable audio to listen, and you can enable the microphone to speak into the camera. And you can play with that. It's not going to really be visible for you on the in my video, but you can play around and take a look at it yourself. So hopefully this has been helpful. We can look at different settings, but I'll do that in a separate video to talk about the different settings that we have here, how to set up a few more things. So hopefully this has been helpful to initially set up your camera and get it going using your Android app. Thanks for listening.